Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
I want you to be a part of it too. Please drop your comments, questions, and takes. Thanks to all of those who have already done that and joined us. Love your comments. We'll read them all. We'll bring them into future shows. So please hit like, subscribe, and join the conversation every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And happy Friday, Joe!
Wow, I can't believe we almost made it. Well, we've made it, but not, we're still in it. So that's great. But man, love Fridays, especially lately with the upcoming weekend games and everything. It's been great. Actually, the weeks are pretty good too, really. College basketball's in full swing. It's just been great, man. Love it. Cold. It's cold.
Yeah,
We're in the 40s now up here, so it's starting to feel a little wintry.
it's so cold. It brought really sad news to my world. I can't wear my Friday Hawaiian Flying Beer shirt.
Why not?
It went in the transfer portal, and not for the money.
Why?
Like Flying Beer's Hawaiian transfer shirt went in the portal because it wants to play in warmer climates. Probably going to transfer to the Hurricanes.
Well,
I don't know.
hey, we'll gladly take them. I mean, as long as they can actually play football. It can play football. You know what? It's a good thing. I don't know when this happened, but today is the last day for the transfer portal. So players need to get that done. Oh, not for everyone. There's two teams that have an extension till the 24th. Those two teams are happen to be playing in the CFP championship, Miami and Indiana. They get an extra week or so since they're, kind of busy right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. I think it was a good transfer portal season. Looks to me like there was a lot of activity. Obviously, with a week to go for those two teams, we'll see.
Yeah, it's been busy, and for my Seminoles, we had a big whoo. The Desir twins from Miami. I guess they got their deal, and they're going to stay with the Seminoles. But yeah, it's you know, just before the show, I was just wanting to ask you about: is it an advantage for the other teams that aren't advancing through the playoffs to go in and pluck all the better players, and then the teams that are playing for the national championship Monday, what chance or what time have they had to try to go out and get those players?
Well, it doesn't seem like an advantage by any means. How big of a disadvantage, I guess. But yeah, right. I mean, especially if you're all business, which these coaches seem to be. I mean, you're literally preparing for the arguably the biggest game of your life for these two coaches. It is, no question about it. And all these people are coming and going. Include, by the way, don't forget transfer portal. I always tend to think of who we're getting. You're losing people, or you've got people entering the portal, and so you're having to recruit your own players from not leaving, and other players to come. It is definitely disadvantage. And having one more week sounds like, well, they get an extra week. Yeah, everybody's gone already. So, Levitt was a big target for Miami. I happen to know that. We'll see. But yeah, that's a good point. It definitely seems like a disadvantage. But I think, if it means because you're in the college football playoff championship, I think you'll take it.
And I'm going to take that extra week. I don't care if it's legal or not to try to see if I can get my Flying Beers out of the transfer portal
Mhm.
right back to my closet. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'll let you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Keep me posted. I mean, if they start leveraging you for more money and stuff, just let me know because,
I
maybe it'll,
I
hey,
just needed to
sorry.
warm up and be like North Tampa weather. Okay, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure half the people watching this are really sad for you living in Tampa, Florida and freezing.
It was
But
freezing this morning, 32
yeah.
degrees.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, and by the way, you might notice I have a new hat on. I mean, obviously, at some point I have to represent. So
Of
that
course.
big game's coming up Monday night. We'll be talking about that big game on our Monday episode. So no fear about we'll cover that in depth. But before we get started, we cover the world of sports. the world of sports, all sports. Something came across my eyes the other day on Tuesday, January 13th. You ever heard of Adrian Stubbs? Most people probably haven't. A lot more people have because Adrian, who's a senior at Maryville High School in Phoenix, Arizona, scored 100 points in a high school basketball game. For those of you who may not know, my son played high school basketball recently at South Forsyth High School. Periods or quarters in a high school basketball game, they play four. They're 8 minutes long. Adrian scored 100 points in three periods, three quarters, 70 in the first half, 30 in the second half. That is pretty hard to believe when you really think about it.
They pulled him from the game in the fourth
They,
quarter,
yeah,
and
well, I
he
don't know if they
already
pulled him from the
had
game or they called the game because his team ended up winning like 109 to whatever. But yeah,
what?
crazy.
What was the other team? What was the team that suffered through that?
I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's Kafa High School. They lost 109 to 25. Now, here's the crazy thing: Adrian scored 100 points in a single game. They won 109 to 25. That means 9 points were not attributed to Adrian. So, no, he did not break the assist state record. I can assure you of that. But yeah, crazy. I did the math with my 7 years of high school. He averaged 4.4 points per minute for the 16 minutes in the first half to score 70. So crazy. By the way, only been done 4 times this century and only 21 times in the history of high school basketball, at least those who keep records. So crazy, crazy stuff, man.
That is crazy. And I guess the Kofa basketball team, they weren't playing Kofa Cabana in the locker room after that game,
Oh,
were they?
ooh, I bet they weren't. No, wow. But yeah,
I
they
apologize. I'm sorry about that.
no, you listen. They coughed up a lot of points in the first
He sure did.
first half. Yeah, they did. Wow, man, the referees must have been looking the other way too. By the way, I looked at the guy's stats. It was only like 6 3-pointers. These were all like mid-range jumpers, apparently. Okay, speaking of basketball,
And
there's
points.
something on a very serious note going on. If you have
Yeah.
not seen this, but it was literally the U.S. Attorney's Office in Philadelphia unsealed indictments on about 26 individuals for a major point shaving and betting conspiracy going on in both college and international basketball games. We're going to talk about this. This is a developing story, obviously, but Jim, you and I have talked about this. This we already had the poker incident, we had the point shaving incidents in baseball, or excuse me, the pitching. This is just another black eye for sports in general. But this one's getting pretty serious. I mean, more than a dozen college players um, who in the 2024-25 season, former NBA player Antonio, Blakeney. You've got international stuff going on. It all started, it looks like, in China, fixing Chinese. If you don't know, China has a CBA, Chinese Basketball Association games, obviously sponsored by the NBA. This is getting crazy. Um, Basically, here's the take on the whole thing in a kind of a nutshell. Why, it's in other sports too, but this is where it's getting kind of scary. This is not like the Knicks versus Pacers. This is like small, um, you know, little known. For example, LaSalle, Nicholls State, Kennesaw State, Fordham. These kind of basketball teams and games, they're being played, and what's happening is it's not that the like the old days where they're like the whites, the Black Sox. They're not throwing the games. They're still winning the games, these players and teams that are involved, but what they're doing is they're affecting the points. So missing a free throw in the last couple of minutes, you're up by 8. Missing a three-pointer, not taking a three-pointer. These things are so hard to detect, especially in a sport like basketball, where literally every 10, 15, 20 seconds you have an opportunity to block a shot, make a steal, turn it over, make a point. And with today's betting, I can instantly bet on the next point, who's going to score the next point, and all that. It is it's a mess.
I've got a good take, honest feel from my heart about this. This is another scandal, right? We've heard the baseball one, the previous NBA one, and now here we go again. Only thing I can come up with for my take is it sucks. I it just, and what are they going to do? Start interviewing all the players and before they play a game, have you spoken to anyone? No. Well, let's see your records before they can even get on the court. I mean, how are they going to stop this?
I don't know. Listen, there have been, over the years, many years, there's been scandals. I don't know. I actually do remember the City College of New York. They were shaving points all the time.
I do remember
Um,
that.
New York got involved. They were actually going to like ban not just City College, but other schools in New York. I remember Arizona State. If you remember that, remember
Hmm.
that. Remember that Tim Donaghy, the referee, was involved
Yes.
in trying to affect the outcomes of games and all that. This is a whole different thing. Now you're talking about winning a game by 6 instead of 8. You're talking about missing a free throw because with today's betting world you can bet on how many free throws X players is going to make.
Yeah.
And the reason they're picking these smaller schools and smaller games is number one, it's a little less obvious. Okay. Number two, these players aren't making squat. You know what I mean? To buy off an NBA player, for example, you're going to have to give them, 150, I don't know how much it takes, 500 grand maybe. You know what I mean? What does it take to buy off a totally random school out of my top of my head? But what does it take to buy off, a small D2 school, in whatever? What does it take to buy that player off? 5 grand's probably a lot of money. And here's the weird thing. I can make as much money from a player from a D2 school, Wisconsin State missing a free throw. I can make as much money off that as a major NBA LeBron James missing a free throw. Same money. You know what I mean? What are the odds and how much do I want to put down? So it's very hard to catch. And you know how these people are getting caught? It's the algorithms, the betting algorithms. Why is there so much money now being put on the spread of 11 and a half points on this Kennesaw State versus LaSalle game? And over time, this particular scandal has been going on for years, and it takes time for the algorithm to start saying, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute," over and over again. And so, anyways, we'll keep an eye on it because for me, watching tomorrow's playoff games in the NFL, it matters to me that I think that game is on the up and up as a
It,
fan.
it better be.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it just brings me down talking about people that are cheating and doing stuff like that for what, and then they get caught and it ruins their lives. So that's the
Well, that
sad
too.
part. That's
Yeah, that too. And listen, once you lose the integrity of a sport, for a fan, from a fan's perspective, once you lose the integrity of not knowing the outcome or the outcome's not decided by, I'm throwing names out again, Brock Purdy, I've got the over under on how many interceptions he throws and it's one. Brock Purdy gets paid 400 grand to throw two, completely flip the bet. You know what I mean? That's how it could happen. And I guess at the end of the day, if I go see a movie, I don't know the ending. What's the difference, right? I'm going to watch the San Francisco game against the Seattle Seahawks game, and I don't know what the outcome is. If it's predetermined like wrestling, to me as a fan, I still didn't know what was going to happen, right? Wrong. That's the it would be a horrible thing if that starts infiltrating all sports. So we'll
best
keep
of
an eye on that.
yeah, best of luck to all the people that are involved trying to stop it. That's who I'm
Uh,
pulling for.
thank God, at least hopefully sadly someone's gonna hopefully go to jail and all that. But it's yeah, we got to keep hoping that these things you know, get found out and people get punished for doing it.
Yeah. And speaking of jail, should we move to our baseball before we hit the
Big,
NFL?
yeah, yeah, big, big deal last night. And when I say big deal, I'm literally mean big deal. It's like, wow.
And would that have to do with the Dodgers?
Yes, it would. Yep.
Hold on a
Um,
second. I got thirsty.
I see. What does that say on your cup? Your lighting is, yeah, okay, I see it. Wow. Yeah. What a deal. Let's see. I can't count that high. What was it for?
60 mil for Kyle Tucker.
For 60 mil. Oh, that's not bad for 20 years or 18
No, for
years.
1 year, 4 year
What?
contract.
What?
Yeah. It's a
4
4 year.
years, 60 million, $240 million?
Yeah, over 4 years. Thank God there's no transfer portal in baseball. He could hold out next year and try to get 70 million per year. And then the next
Well,
year, 80 million per year. So it's like,
listen, and I happen to, notice, and I don't have it right in front of me, but the Dodgers were already favorites to win, you know, back-to-back World Series. Or excuse me, this would be a three-peat, right? They were already favored to do that. Those odds just went way up because it's unbelievable. But there's a bigger picture to me. And I know you love the Dodgers, and if hey, like a friend of yours is a friend of mine, well, a team you love, I can't say I love that team, but I understand, and so I get it. But as a baseball fan, um, this just glaringly to me highlights the financial structure of baseball is crazy these days. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that the Dodgers can do this. Um, there's a luxury tax. There's things in place to kind of prevent this. There's a salary cap. No, no, there's not.
right. But here's what I'm going to say in defense. The Dodgers are all for all the teams with that luxury tax and everything like that. And the smaller market teams still don't spend what they're supposed to spend. So, they could go out and they could try to do this too, you know?
Um, I would say that there are teams that can do it. Top teams. Not all teams. I don't know that every team can afford to do it. They put a luxury tax on these teams, like the New York. And by the way, I agree with you in one sense. George Steinbrenner had a very famous line back when he was an involved owner and was spending all the money, catfish hunter and blah blah blah, and people were
Which
going,
broke your heart.
well, that did, what Oakland A have I ever held on to for more than 2 or 3 years, But the point is, Steinbrenner said, "Hey, don't hate the player or hate me because D'Angelo, the owner of the Orioles at the time, is as rich as I am. The only difference is I'm spending the money on our team and he's not.
Right.
And so, to your point, it's a choice, but that's not for every team. Let's face it. Milwaukee, Oakland, Las Vegas, some teams don't have this kind of money. Now, the original idea was luxury tax will prevent something, but to teams like the Dodgers, the luxury tax it's just the cost of doing business. When you can get Otani, Betts, you know, Freeman, Tucker, you can absorb the penalties. You know what? And by the way, for some teams to spend this much money on a player, it's a big risk. When you have this much money, it's not a risk. If it doesn't pan out, it doesn't set your franchise back 10 years. It's like, oh well, it's a pricey risk. Um, I don't know, man. It's just the inequality across baseball now, I think, is becoming a huge factor.
Now, I might shock you saying this. I completely agree with you. There should be a salary cap. It should be the same way as the NFL. Every team has a certain amount of money to spend, and then you've got the parity, which we would all love to see. But now you'll see everyone who's not a Dodger fan loving every minute if they fail. They'll be
Um,
watching to see what teams can actually knock off the high price Dodgers. Just like back when we were growing up, it was the Yankees. I didn't like how the Yankees were doing it then, so I know exactly where you're going.
yeah, listen. There's no bones about it. I'm an A's fan, and we've been mired in mediocrity. Some of that is because of the owner we have, who, by the way, is a billionaire. Um, has decided to not spend money on the team. To be frank, I think the real reason is he wanted the team to suck to be able to move his team with less friction. And at some point, well, you get to the point where you're so bad that the city's like, yeah, fine, go, but there are other owners who just, not even owners, but franchises that just don't have the money. Good for Los Angeles, they do. They can compete with New York. They can compete with the Houstons of the world and all that. But um, at some point, a completely level playing field for baseball would be in for the purest baseball fans out there the best. Now, I'll leave it with this: there are some baseball fans out there who kind of like having the same 5 or 6 teams in competition every year because of their names. The Yankees going against the Dodgers, going against the Red Sox, going against the occasional Toronto Blue Jays, the occasional you know Detroit Tigers who pop up.
Right. So we'll see. I hope so. That's another thing we can hope and wish for is just an even more even playing field.
Yeah, I
And
think it's good, but because listen, let's face it. I've said this before. You have too. The NFL is king, and one of the reasons the NFL is king is because of the way they are structured. This is a fact. The NFL has a hard salary cap. You cannot literally exceed it. There's no tax. There's no deferral. You can't take money from the future and put it in there. You can ask a player to take less money, but you can't just make up, your budget. If you overpay one person in the NFL, guess what? You lose depth. You cannot afford other people, and you know what that forces? Competitive balance. It forces tough choices. It forces you to be really careful about your moves. In baseball, it's all about flexibility. There's no limits, man. It's crazy. Anyways, but that's it. We'll see. It was a big deal. Good for Tucker.
yeah,
You know,
I agree.
I mean, generational wealth.
Yeah, and the Dodgers by the end of next week will already make half of his salary in his jersey sales. So listen up,
Yeah,
other teams. You can make money with money. You got to spend it
yeah.
first. So
That's 100%. Um, okay, well, moving on to the
yeah.
pigskin, which
Dun, dun, dun,
I'm always
dun.
happy to talk about that. Before we get to the games coming up, we have another playoff weekend, which I love. There was out of the coaching carousel, someone has landed somewhere.
And I lost before we even started our NFL team matchup with which coach where they go bracket.
Did we
I
ever officially do a bracket? You just have a secret bracket going on, or what?
I just started to write it yesterday morning for today's
Oh,
show. And the
okay.
next thing you know, on NFL Network, I see where the Giants are finalizing John Harbaugh's contract. Thanks a lot, Stephen Ross, for listening to our broadcast, telling Mike McDaniel to go, and then you can't go in and you get John Harbaugh. Rats.
Um, Arguably one of the better candidates out there of known commodity. Again, there's some DCs, first timers. I've mentioned this before, not to beat a dead horse, but the Jacksonvilles of the world, the Chicago Bears of the world, prove that there are some great coaches who don't have NFL head coaching experience. But if you're looking for more of a sure thing, you can't do much better than John Harbaugh. That is for sure. And good choice for him. You went to the Giants. There was talk about the Dolphins. There was talk about the Raiders. There was talk, you know, it's. I'm not saying this motivated him in any way, but it's kind of a good idea, in my opinion, to go to the NFC. You're not going to have to play your brother. You're not going to the Raiders, where I play my brother twice a year, which, on a side note, could be pretty fun, but that's a distraction. Done. You're out of your own conference where you used to coach. I think that's a good idea as well.
And I think the elephant in the room is he looked at the roster and he saw that his quarterback is a promising, up and coming future, more than likely superstar in Jackson Dart. That's where it all starts. And he said, I want to go to that team. Plus, he's got Cam Scattaboo coming back. and
Hopefully 100%.
he's going to go in there. He's going to set the culture. That team's going to play a lot better. I've already seen something this morning that said the Giants are going to win the NFC East. Look at all the excitement this is causing. So
That
I don't
I
know
don't know who
about
said
that.
that, but probably a Giants fan.
Yeah,
But I'm literally looking. I was wondering what the Giants' record was last 10 years. When was the last time they were like good? So just in the last 10 years, back to 2015, not per season or anything like that, the Giants are 55 and 109 and 1. And I thought it was going to be something like that, finishing 6, 7, 5 wins every year. This year is even worse because this is another reason. It's good to pick the Giants. What do you have to lose? There's nothing but upside. You don't even have to make the playoffs the first couple of years. Just go above 500, and you're a superhero. You know what I mean? So that's another reason it's a smart move.
yeah, smart move. You made me think about when you said that of Aaron Glenn. What do you got to lose taking over the Jets? Oh no.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the finding the one example that ruins my whole premise. But
It wasn't
why don't you do
ruining
that kind
it.
of research for other things on the show? But I get it. Yeah. Okay. So yes, you can still do work. Well, Pete Carroll. How bad can it be? Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
you can
that's
do
what I mean.
worse. Understood. But my point is, uh, Harbaugh will probably get them moving in the right direction, which will, just be he'll be a superhero in the city. And I've been to Baltimore many times. I'm sure it's a great place to live. I'm sure there's great areas around Baltimore, but moving to the New York City area is probably a big step. But we'll see. I think he'll do great at New York.
And to help your point and retract a little bit about Aaron Glenn, he didn't look to see who his quarterback was going to be before he made that decision.
Yeah,
Yeah, forget it. I'm
that's a
sorry.
whole that's a whole nother conversation, man. You're getting these quarterbacks that literally top one or two, three picks in the draft. It's like, wow, just bad luck, man. It's just on a side note, it just goes to show you how, I mean, in high school recruiting, getting a 5-star, I'm not saying it's guaranteed by any means. Not to pick on Lagway or anybody like that, but you never know. But in the NFL, man, it is unbelievable how just almost pot luck it is to get these, quarterbacks in particular. You get a really good running back. I mean, but Um, and I think he does like Dart. Dart seems to be someone who wants to learn. He's going to have to learn to slide a little bit more often if he wants to stick around. But yeah, he's going to a good situation for sure. I'm looking forward to actually see the other teams and who they pick. In particular, the Dolphins. In particular, the Raiders. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm can't wait too. Things are going to start moving pretty quickly. I'm
Yep,
pretty sure. Yeah.
me too. All right.
So
Well, we got some really. We have teams playing this weekend that actually have coaches, good coaches. Let's talk about the upcoming games, man. I'm really excited. I love last weekend because of all the games and everything. But then you look at these 4 games coming up, and it's like, ooh, every time you look at the matchup, you're like, ooh, wow.
I I can't wait. We start off tomorrow at 4:30, which I love. I love the start times
Me too.
for the entire weekend. It's almost like Sunday is almost like the Super Bowl, the old time 3 o'clock, but now moved to 6:30. Through the years, the Super Bowl was always at 3. But on Saturday, it's 4:30 and 8 o'clock. I like how no 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then it's over.
Yeah,
It's like, oh,
it is
come
kind
on,
of strange. Yeah.
you got more time to get your wings, get your beer, and get set up. You know,
Yes.
but yeah, Saturday tomorrow, 4:30, the Buffalo Bills at Denver Broncos. We're making our picks today, but before we make our picks, we were just talking about how important it is to have a top tier quarterback.
Yes.
And if I may, I'm going to say this right now. I said it last week about Buffalo. Josh Allen. I'm telling you, he's got that path now. That team has that motivation now. They don't have the Chiefs or the Ravens to worry about, and I I'm liking Buffalo Bills' chances when they go to Denver? What are your thoughts?
Love their chances. Obviously, the weather, I don't know what it's going to be, but it won't matter. Um, Buffalo, compared to years in the past, like you always pictured them as kind of a shootout team, probably because they had to be against Kansas City, I guess. But they're 5-1 in one-score games. Um, Interesting to me, they've proven they don't need shootouts to win. They can win, lower scoring games. Josh Allen's been sacked a lot less this year. He's probably still running as much as usual. I don't know. To be honest with you, he looks banged up to me. Well, no, he is banged up. Denver coming off a bye at home. I think Denver has had a lot of time to put this game plan together. I think they are probably healthier than Buffalo. And I think Denver is going to win this game because of 2 turnovers.
I got the pen. I'm writing it down. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. The mission to get to that Super Bowl, I think you already know that I'm already leaning on them getting to the Super Bowl because of Josh Allen. So I've got Joe for Denver. Oh, good. This pen works. It's not a
Ah,
union. It's not a union pen. It writes.
oh, yeah. Wait. Only on clipboards, though.
There you go. So you got the Broncos. I got Buffalo.
I do. It is interesting. Buffalo, Denver's favored by 1 point. But I think Denver's been their defense has been taking the ball away a little bit. I think, I think there'll be a turnover, and that'll be the difference.
Okay.
2 turnovers
Oh,
from
okay.
Buffalo.
You're just trying to sell food, aren't you?
No, but you said something about the wings. So
We're even.
we talking about the Seahawks or the Eagles?
We're even. we are. We're the
I love
speaking of
those
this.
commercials, by the way. I love the lady who's eating the wing and everything, and he's like, "When my Eagles won, it was great until," and then I realized they're just trying to sell wings, and she's eating, and she's like,
And she
sort of
stops.
drops the wing like like, oh shit, it's funny.
That is funny. I love that commercial too.
It was
And
great.
speaking of wings and Seahawks, that's who's next on Saturday after the Bills Broncos game. We settle in for the Seahawks hosting the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. Wow, what a game. 7 of the last 9 meetings between these 2 teams were one-score games. So that's pretty crazy.
Saturday, tomorrow's going to be awesome. I
Yeah. Well,
can't wait.
I'm going to say that about Sunday too, but yeah, no, it will be. I
I'm
agree.
gonna I'm gonna pick first on this one, if I may. Thank you, Joe. I'm
Yeah.
picking the 49ers to go in and upset the Seahawks. I like Brock Purdy, and I'm writing it down. And I just think the 49ers getting over the Eagles hump last week, and Christian McCaffrey is going to go off, and the Seahawks are going to struggle with Sam Darnold at quarterback in a pressure playoff situation.
Wow. So where's this game being played?
In Seattle.
Yeah. I think that's the difference. So here's the thing. The 49ers are, I don't know if they're the most efficient team in the NFL, but I know that they're at least one of the top 3 in points per drive. Like they are, you know, for every time they get the ball, they score something. They're really good in the red zone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the Seattle Seahawks, they've played in more one-score games than anyone else in the playoffs. I think their defense is really good, underratedly good, even though you've seen them all year when they really want to play. I think Sam Darnold only needs to have about 2 to 3 explosive plays in this game to flip the script a little bit. And they were top 10 in explosive plays, by the way. So I think Seattle wins this game in a close one.
Okay. And plus, they do have the 12th man, which a
That's
lot of
yeah,
you've seen a lot of players say that's a hard place to play because it gets
it
so
is.
loud.
You know,
Yeah.
they're all professionals, but yeah, it is.
And so Sunday we get up and we look to see the first game. We got to wait until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And it is going to be at Gillette Stadium again, where we see the New England Patriots hosting the Houston Texans. All yours, Joe. What do you got?
Well, I don't see Houston winning this game because of their offense. I've said it before. I didn't really think about it, but Houston leads the league in first half points. Isn't that weird? You lead the league in first half points. Well, you don't lead the league in second half points, and that was exposed in their last game. Excuse me, the last regular season game. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think New England has the capability of, even against this great Houston defense, putting up 28 to 30 points, and that's all they're going to need.
Okay. I'm writing down Joe picking the New England Patriots. And,
With a caveat, if they score 28 points or more.
oh, okay.
But that doesn't change my pick, but that's what they'll need to do to win.
Okay. Well, I've been following your crystal ball predictions because you've been pretty close to spot on. How
Thank you.
close? Really close.
Real close,
Like a
yeah.
Gillette shave close.
Wow,
And,
not that close.
and
Wow. Hey, I don't give a shick.
oh, oh, hey, they censored that. Why
Whoa,
do birds need pants?
I
Okay.
don't know. Did I just make my pick? Okay, thank you. Got it.
Well, I'm going to go with the old adage defense wins championships, and that Houston Texans defense is that tough. And I think the Patriots run, they've been great. It's good for football. Okay. But I can't stand the Patriots. And yes, I do have to explain to my cousin Fred why I picked the Buffalo Bills again as a Dolphins fan. It's extremely hard, but I like the Texans defense. This one's easy for me. That's not with my heart. I just think Texans defense is a dominant defense that will win football games. CJ Stroud will not have to do much.
Yeah,
And don't forget, the
that's the
Texans had a
plan.
great running game the night they beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
They figured it out. Look out.
Yeah, 100%. No, they're capable for sure. And they also were topping the league in big plays, so they're capable.
Yep. Okay. And then Sunday night, we settle in 6:30 p.m. Soldier Field,
Wait,
Chicago.
6:30?
Yeah, Sunday night, 6:30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep, that's
That's
pretty
that's
much the
kind of
time of
weird.
the Super Bowl now. So we got a
That's
3 o'clock Sunday game and a 6:30 Sunday game, and it's at Soldier Field, and the Bears are hosting the LA Rams.
yes. Well,
This one.
yeah, this is a tough one
Mm-hmm.
because Chicago at home and the way they're playing and all that. But and this is a little hard, maybe over the wallet. But I think, man, I really would love to see the Rams win this game. I'd love to see, Stafford kind of come bring it all the way back after the last few years. Um, here's why I think the Rams will win this game. I think the Rams get ahead early, and then I think the Chicago Bears can't just sit there and run the ball. If the Chicago Bears rush for 120 yards or more, then I think they win the game because that will mean that they've been in the game and kept it close the whole time. If the Rams can jump out early, I think they win, and I think they will. And so I'm picking the Rams.
I like that. And on this ball game, I'm going to stick with you on that one. I'm going to pick the Rams as well, strictly because, and I was wrong about this for the Packers game. It's saying that Caleb Williams, first really, really big game, look out. But I just think their magic runs out as well. And I'm going to go with the experienced Matthew Stafford and the Rams. I think they're close to the most complete team in the NFL. Good
Yeah.
offense, good
I,
defense.
I don't know the weather. If the weather's just nasty, that might change things. And I'm sure that it's easy to find out it's in 2 days.
Yeah,
But the Rams were 8-0 this entire season when leading after the first quarter. So it is really important that they, jump out to a lead. Because if they don't, then yeah, they're in for a long game.
that's a great point. Thank you for looking that up. Wow, 8-0 after leading in the first quarter.
After
Wow.
leading after leading the first quarter, they're 8-0. Sunday, it's going to be 19 degrees with a low of 5 degrees. So, that doesn't change my opinion. However, that's it's cold.
I look forward to seeing all the Chicago Bears fans wearing those fake mustaches, the Bears, with snow or frost all over their
I
mustache.
know. I love when that happens when you see the shirtless dude, who's got the, massive beer gut, with frost coming out of his mouth every time he takes a sip of beer. It's like great.
Yeah, I can't wait too.
Me neither.
Well, we'll see what happens. We got our picks, and then our next show is on Monday to talk big about
Look
the
forward to it, man.
Nations Championship.
Great weekend of football. Everything else going on too. College basketball's in full swing. My Tar Heels dropped a big one to Stanford the other night, who's looking actually pretty good. But yeah, we'll talk about that too next week. But look forward to this week. We will have a Monday episode so we can talk about the CFP championship before that. So enjoy the weekend, my friend.
Yeah, you
And
too. And thank everyone who's listening and watching and the comments that are coming in. We got some good ones to talk about
um,
next week too.
no,
Thank you,
thank
everybody.
thank everyone for commenting. So that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
And we love you being a part of the show, folks. And look forward to seeing you too, Joe. Folks, just drop your comments. Keep them coming. We'll read them. We will feature them in future episodes. So be sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends to catch us as well every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Oh, Instagram and TikTok too. That's where we put our little shorties.
Love it.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, Joe.
See you, my friend. Take care, buddy.